Every so often, something gets discovered that just completely flips our understanding of history on its head. Today, we're talking about one of those things. It's the story of a mysterious object lost for 2,000 years at the bottom of the sea. An object that proved the ancient world was way more advanced than we ever gave it credit for. All right, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's 1901. A team of Greek sponge divers is trying to ride out a bad storm off the coast of this little island called Antikythera. While they're waiting, they stumble upon an ancient Roman shipwreck. And as they start bringing stuff up, statues, pottery, the usual treasures, they also pull up, well, this. Just a corroded, rock-like lump of bronze. Honestly, it looks like a piece of junk. So what was it? Well, for 2 whole years, nobody knew. This lump just sat in a corner of the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, pretty much forgotten. I mean, the staff had way cooler stuff to work on, right? They were piecing together these amazing statues. Little did they know this unassuming chunk of metal held a secret that was about to challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient technology. So how does the piece of corroded metal go from a museum basement reject to one of the most important finds in history? Well, that's where our story really kicks off. Okay, this is the moment, the turning point, May 17th, 1902. An archaeologist, Valerio Stais, is looking over the fragments from the wreck, and he spots something that just shouldn't be there. Embedded in that crusty, corroded bronze was a gear wheel. And not just any gear wheel, one with perfectly formed, precise triangular teeth. It was, for the time, basically impossible. Stais, he immediately thought, this has to be some kind of astronomical clock. But pretty much every other scholar just laughed it off. They said it was protochronistic, which is just a fancy way of saying it was out of its time. I mean, a complex gear system like that? No way. That kind of tech wasn't supposed to exist until the huge, intricate clocks of medieval Europe, more than 1,000 years later. And so the debate was on. So for decades, this thing just remained a total puzzle. But technology marches on. And as it did, scientists finally got the tools they needed to peek inside this thing without having to break it. They were about to unlock the secrets hidden in that corroded shell. Now, the path to figuring this thing out was long. We're talking over a century. After it was found in 1901 and that first gear was spotted, it took almost 70 years before the first X-rays even hinted at how complex it was. But the real game changer? That came in the mid-2000s with advanced CT scans. Suddenly, scientists could see the entire internal structure in glorious 3D, and, get this, they could even read thousands of characters of Greek text that were hidden inside. And this is what they saw. It's just incredible. On one side, you've got the fragment as it looks from the outside, but on the other, that's the breathtaking reality that was hidden inside all along. Scientists were able to map out this entire system of at least 30 interlocking bronze gears, each one with a specific job to do. This wasn't just one gear, you guys. This was a machine. So what was this thing? Well, today it's known as the world's first analog computer. Now think about your laptop. That's digital. It uses ones and zeros. An analog computer is different. It uses physical, mechanical parts, gears, dials, pointers, to solve a problem. And the problem this little machine was built to solve? Oh, just the entire cosmos. So what could this amazing little box actually do? Well, you'd turn this little hand crank on the side, and it could predict solar and lunar eclipses decades into the future. It could track the sun, the moon, and the 5 planets the Greeks knew about. It even modeled the moon's weird, irregular orbit, which, let me tell you, is an insanely difficult thing to do with just gears. It could show you the phase of the moon on any given day, and just to top it all off, it had a dial to keep track of the 4-year cycle for the Olympic Games. It was literally a mechanical universe in a box. All right, so the fact that this thing even exists brings up a huge question. If the ancient Greeks were capable of building this, who exactly were these people? And, maybe more importantly, why did this incredible technology just disappear? Best guess from researchers is that it was built sometime between 150 and 100 BCE. But here's the really crucial part. You don't just wake up one day and invent something this complex. This couldn't have been a one-off. It had to be the peak, the absolute pinnacle, of a long tradition of Greek mechanical engineering, a tradition that, until this discovery, was completely lost to us. This quote from Tony Freeth, one of the lead researchers, really says it all. The device uses something called epicyclic gears. That's basically gears that ride on top of other gears. It's super clever, and it's what allowed the machine to model the really complex movements of the planets and the tricky, variable speed of the moon. It turned all their astronomical theories into physical reality. Finding that level of genius in a 2,000-year-old artifact was, like he said, just a complete and utter shock. So the big question is, why did this tech vanish for over 1,000 years? Well, a couple of reasons. First, these things would have been insanely rare and expensive. But the bigger reason is probably recycling. Back then, bronze was incredibly valuable. So when a fancy gadget like this broke, you didn't fix it. You melted it down to make something more useful, like a sword or a statue. The only reason we have this one is because it ended up at the bottom of the ocean in a shipwreck. It was pure luck. You see, the Antikythera Mechanism isn't just some cool ancient gadget. Its very existence forces us to completely rewrite what we thought we knew about the ancient world. Not just what they could build, but how they thought. I mean, just look at a modern reconstruction of it. It's beautiful. It's not just a curiosity anymore, it's hard physical proof. Proof that these ancient engineers had an incredibly sophisticated grasp of astronomy and mechanics. To be able to take all these complex cosmic cycles and translate them into the language of gears, that is a massive intellectual achievement. But, the deepest secret here isn't about the gears or the dials. It's about an idea. This machine represents a philosophy, one that is the absolute bedrock of modern science. The idea that the universe isn't just random chaos. It's a rational, predictable system that works according to rules, almost like a machine. They weren't just building a model of the cosmos, they were building a model of a whole new way of thinking. And that really leaves us with one final, kind of haunting thought. This absolute masterpiece of technology only survived because of a complete accident, a random shipwreck. So it just makes you wonder, what else is out there? What other incredible achievements, what other masterpieces of science and art have been completely lost to time? What else don't we know?